Hello. Um, my name is Chadwick Baldwin, and I'm here today to try and make my first video talking about the Grateful Underground, which is a movement, let's say, to create social spaces for music and the arts and conversation, and for people to sort of meet and have a good time. And it's a sort of grassroots project, so it will rely on the efforts of everyone involved, and hopefully, let's just say that. And before I get into this, I just wanted to play a tune on the guitar because, and excuse the acid reflux and other strange behaviors I might have. I'll just play some music and then talk some more. And I'll just play whatever is calling me at this moment. Mama said, don't go near that river. Don't be hanging around old Catfish John. And come the morning, I'd always be there, walking in his footsteps in the sweet Delta dawn. Take me back to that river morning, to a time not long ago, where the sweet magnolias blossom, cotton fields as white as snow. Mama said, don't go near that river. Don't be hanging around old Catfish John. Come the morning, I'd always be there, walking in his footsteps in the sweet Delta dawn. Catfish John was a river hobo. He lived and died by the river's edge. Looking back, I still remember. Well, I was proud to be his friend. Mama said, don't go near that river. Don't be hanging around old Catfish John. Come the morning, I'd always be there, walking in his footsteps in the sweet Delta dawn. Born a slave in the town of Bridgeport, traded for the chestnut mare. Though he never spoke in anger, oh, his love was hard to bear. Mama, she said, don't go near that river. Don't be hanging around old Catfish John. Come the morning, I'd always be there, walking in his footsteps in the sweet Delta dawn. Walking in his footsteps in the sweet Delta dawn. All right, well, thank you for listening. Thanks for your ears, I want to say. Yeah, on with this idea, this project, which I've named The Grateful Underground, and, you know, if that changes, so be it. If not, so be it, whatever. A name is a name. But truly what I want to preserve is just this motion for people to come together and to work on something that little by little and day by day gets a little sweeter and a little warmer and grows and begets further seeds for that kind of thing to to blossom into something that brings us life and it brings us wholeness and goodness. And all the while having the freedom to express oneself in any way they wish. And, allowing the light and the dark to mix with, our microcosm of society, and seeing what happens when we bare our hearts to one another in an open and honest way. And all the while having as much fun as possible. And I myself, I've overdone it a little bit in my life with substances, let's say, cigarettes, all that sort of stuff. And it's not that I want to help to create an environment that doesn't have those things or doesn't allow them. But personally, in order to stave myself off of those things, which I'm still having trouble staving off of, I feel like I need more beauty in my life, and I need more happening, more people connecting, and more stuff going on. And I'm finding that it's difficult to find the right sort of thing going on. It's almost as if less and less there are outlets for people to just find themselves or find something or so yeah, I think that to put it just plainly and just start talking about it, or else how else can I communicate this? Otherwise it's just something that I sit and think about, and that doesn't really do a whole lot of good. So I have to find a way to use this, which I don't know how to use so well. But I think that what can happen is something along the lines of the parable of Rock Soup, which is a story of some animals who are friends who live in a village, and one of the animals, let's say a bull, says, I've got a rock, and I'm gonna make some rock soup. And if y'all want some, but all I've got is the rock. And one of the other animals says, hey, I've got a pot. Another one has some water, and they start cooking this rock, and someone says, well, I've got a leek, and I've got some chicken parts, and I've got some carrots and some onions, and another guy's got some peas, and someone brought the spice rack, and by the end of the evening they've got a delicious stew. And all because a guy had a rock. And I think that this is a story that maybe I shouldn't tell, because it sort of frames me as a guy who's just got something to say and not a whole lot of means. But that is what I am. And this is what I've got. And in the effort of setting forth something that's open and honest, I figured I should also be open and honest. You know, when I should be. So yeah. You know, I think I'm gonna play another song and then maybe I'll say a couple more things and then end this video and review it back, and maybe I'll share it somewhere. Maybe this is a trial run for my own, you know, consciousness to examine this emanation of a concept that I find difficult communicating. So I figured I should play more to remember what it is I'm trying to communicate. Sitting here in limbo, like a bird without a song. Oh, excuse me. Sitting here in limbo, and I know it won't be long. Well, they're putting up resistance, but I know my faith will lead me on. Sitting here in limbo, waiting for the tide to come. Sitting here in limbo, and I know it won't be long. Well, they're putting up resistance, but I know my faith will lead me on. I don't know what life will show me, but I know what I've seen. I don't know where life will lead me, but I know where I've been. I tried my hand at love and friendship, but all that is past and gone. This little boy's moving on. Sitting here in limbo, waiting for the dice to roll. Sitting here in limbo, I've got some time to search my soul. Well, they're putting up resistance, but I know my faith will lead me on. I don't know where life will lead me, but I know where I've been. I don't know what life will show me, but I know what I've seen. Tried my hand at love and friendship, but all that is past and gone. This little boy is moving on, sitting here in limbo, waiting for the tide to come. Sitting here in limbo, but I know it won't be long. Well, they're putting up resistance, but I know my faith will lead me on. Thanks again for your time. I am in over my head on this one, but the only way to grow is to go further. And I think the way we can go further is as a unit, as a team, as folks that are thinking together instead of apart, and working together instead of apart, and seeing what happens, and allowing there to be something in between all of us that we all enjoy, and letting that, helping that to emerge. Out of the mud. And I don't know what it is exactly. I know that it's something to do with places where you can go and just be free and make music, and make art, and connect, but I don't know how that comes together truly. I have some ideas. But each of them would play out so differently. And how am I to figure out by myself what possibility to pursue, or which one to communicate first? I feel like it just has to start to come out, and then it can find its language for a wider audience. Because I would like to work with all sorts of people, and eventually what I would love is for this to be a safe place for children to be sort of exposed to this culture, and to find inspiration in it as a sort of playground of experience, and as a sort of folk wisdom of music, and a sort of communal apprenticeship of the arts, and a somewhat Socratic academia even, because I think that in order for us to maintain a sort of cogent individual thought stream, that we each ought to study the world our whole lives. And this program of American or public education is like not what I would consider education. I think education is learning how to exist properly. And that is a lifelong pursuit, right? So how could you graduate from anything? That shouldn't be the goal ever. The goal should be to be further from graduation. Have the most childlike mind in the whole class, to always be wondering what life could be, because when you've decided what it is, it loses its wow factor sometimes, and it shuts away the light and the beauty. And if we can think for ourselves and have a place where we can think for ourselves, because it's one thing to think freely on the internet, but that's freedom in a space that's already metaphysical. It already is free. If we could free the earth from its cultural prison, and just be whatever makes sense for the moment, as opposed to what makes sense for some group or some some force that isn't the force of individuality. Why should we still add energy to those things if we can see that there's plenty to do if we just add energy to one another and add our thoughts onto one another? And I think what we can begin to create is a sort of soup of not only resources and connections between people, but of love. And in that soup, then we have this pattern of each day we all sort of love each other, and we all see each other as family even. And then we can wake up in the day and think about how can I use my day's energy to add to the beauty of this loving soup of people. And when that occurs, I think what you start to grow out of that is a somewhat spiral motion where each day is more beautiful than the last. And therefore the psyche is more free and more grateful and more patient and open. And therefore you take more in. And therefore you learn more. And then with what you've learned, you add more beauty. You water the roots of this system that's not really a system. It's just whatever the words choose at the moment, and those words can fall away. And I might start over and make another video and say it all again, inside out and backwards, and it could still be something. So take the words and play with them and change them and reorder them and, whatever, slap your personality on them and see what you would like to create. And then maybe there's a synthesis, and maybe that process can continue. I'll leave it at just that for now. Okay. Adios.